What's funny is that in 2020 there actually were a decent amount of charges for election fraud. Do you want to know the names of the people who were charged? It was Jenna Ellis, it was Rudy Giuliani, it was John Eastman, and it was Donald Trump. those are the people that got charged for interfering with the election. It wasn't any poll watchers. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Rinyald. And if you disagree with anything in the video, make sure you join the Discord and we can have a chat sometime.
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
So you know, I'm getting back to debates. I haven't debated in a while. You know, I'm just getting back to it. But I have a question. What's the one thing that you dislike most about Trump? And I'll try to argue that.
Like action or philosophy, or like what's the one thing that he's done that I think is the worst, or like what is his
general, like his moral or policy or whatever. Like if someone said one thing that you dislike most about Trump and why Trump shouldn't be elected, what would you say?
I mean, my answer would be we probably shouldn't elect somebody who tried to overthrow the government.
Oh, so 2020?
Yeah.
So J6, I assume. Well, you know, I'm like a lot of Republicans. You know, the majority of Republicans do believe the election was stolen. About 70%, I think they did a poll, believe that. And I do believe the election was stolen. I think that we've never seen 70 poll workers claim irregularities. You know, the Wisconsin Supreme Court said that over 200,000 people who should have been ID'd weren't ID'd in the voting booth. And that there was also 500 ballots that weren't permitted, that weren't by
500.
But that's the only ones who were found. And Biden slimly beat Wisconsin. If you look at there's multiple irregularities, you know, turnout.
What's the Wisconsin Supreme Court thing that you're referring to? Do you know the case?
I don't know the exact case. Just search up 200,000 Wisconsin Supreme Court 2020.
Let's see. What I'm seeing is that
I can leave if you can't find it, and I'll give you the exact.
No, you're good. What I'm seeing is that the Wisconsin Supreme Court decided against the Trump administration because the Trump administration was suing to invalidate 200,000 votes.
Yeah, but those 200,000 votes weren't valid. They never got ID'd. I mean, I think that's a little crazy.
Not valid by whose metric?
By I don't know, that by the electoral,
because they were
process.
Legally, they were absolutely legally cast.
But they never got ID'd. They didn't have to show proof of citizenship.
That doesn't matter. That not every state has photo ID laws.
But do you think that those 200,000 people should be ID'd? And there was also other cases.
I mean, in an ideal world, if I was a governor, yeah, I would probably support some sort of photo ID law, assuming that everybody had pretty easy access to photo IDs. I would probably, like, in theory, support that. But to say that the election was stolen because the election in Wisconsin operated in a legal manner, that's not an argument. I would say that and also to speak to the 70% of the Republican Party thinking that the election was stolen, it's because Donald Trump told you it was stolen, and they listened, but he was lying. He was lying about the claims of election fraud.
So you don't think that there's any irregularities in the 2020 election?
There's irregularities in every election, but there was nothing outcome determinative, and Donald Trump knew that, and he was lying about particular claims of fraud.
Look at the turnout in 2016. 2020 and 2024 in Milwaukee, for example. You have swings, you know, 2016 and 2024, very similar turnout, around like 47%. And then you have a 2020 where it's a 56% turnout.
Yeah, because there was unprecedented access to voting in 2020. I mean, everybody was home. They had nothing better to do. They had the unprecedented access to mail-in voting. It doesn't shock me that people voted more when they had unprecedented access to voting.
A 9% swing?
Yes, that's not that shocking.
I think that's pretty surprising. And also, mail-in ballots are literally illegal in a lot of European countries because
we don't live in European countries.
But mail-in ballots in general are a lot more easy to be fraudulent, though. Then what about the 60 poll workers? You would think that there would be
evidence.
What?
You would think that there would be like any concrete evidence of that.
But there were 60. Well, all the courts said that the president had no standing. That they
Yeah,
said
because
that.
you need standing to prove a case. Yeah.
But I would just consider. I think it's corrupt. I think a lot of these judges were corrupt,
It's not
and
corrupt to require standing for a court case. That's just how our judicial system works.
they didn't. They had Jesse Jacobs, for example. Multiple 60 to 70 poll workers claimed irregularities. That's never happened before, and they didn't have any standing. They couldn't
That
testify.
doesn't it's not shocking that that's oh well.
I gotta
Okay,
go.
yeah, you
Sorry.
got dropped down for a violation. Listen, if you want to have a conversation, I would love to. All right, I have a Discord; it's publicly available. Um, if you follow
All
me,
right.
if you want to have a future conversation, we can. But I gotta drop you.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah, it's just all the same conspiracy talking points. I don't know.
Hey, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, just like the last guy that was talking rubbish, I don't want to get into any of that because relitigating nonsense. It's just like the Doge people. Remember when they were talking about all of the fraud and all this stuff that Elon was going to find? Why wasn't one person charged?
Yep.
Don't you think if there was all this fraud that went on at all the government stuff, it's just like with all the numbers that Donald Trump didn't like and he fired the person that gave him numbers. These people have been doing this for 20 years and
Wait.
they've been doing it in all administration. So it's like when people turn around, and I had MAGA people in my office too, and I'm in finance. We do home equity, finance products, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And they came out, oh, the numbers were all fudged, Donald Trump. And I'm saying, I was going to say, were our numbers all fudged in July? Like, you know what? I obviously
Right.
didn't
Yeah.
say that because I want to keep my job. But you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like this is how stupid we've come into it as a country.
Well, you know
Where
what's funny? What's funny is that in 2020 there actually were a decent amount of charges for election fraud. Do you want to know the names of the people who were charged?
Yeah, they were the Republicans.
Yeah, it was Kenneth Chesborough, it was Jenna Ellis, it was Rudy Giuliani, it was John Eastman, and it was Donald Trump. those are the people that got charged for interfering with the election. It wasn't any poll watchers.
It's like when Donald Trump was telling us right before even one person voted that if he doesn't win, it's all rigged.
Yep.
Remember that? It's like I'd like to tell, because America's big on sports, right? It's like going ahead and saying that if in that NFL game, if we don't win, if Philadelphia Eagles don't win, it's all rigged.
Then they were cheating.
Before
Yeah.
the game has even started. Like, this is how stupid Americans have become. I hate to say it, Donald Trump has manipulated hundreds of millions of Americans to believe the lies that he just says it. There's nothing. Look what he's doing with India and Pakistan. They've repeatedly told him that you had nothing to do with anything of any nature between India and Pakistan. And he continues to keep saying that he's the one that did the ceasefire, and it's because of him he prevented it all. Like this is what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the man that repeatedly lies, and the last guy that was up on your thing is hundreds of millions of people that spew the nonsense without any factual basis of anything. I mean, do you think we're ever going to get back to the point where honesty and integrity and character will matter in this country?
I think a big problem is that I read a book, and it's like kind of a pop, like a pop book, but it's like it was about tyranny, and it was about how like authoritarian regimes always, like, one of the first things they do is like try and make it so any amount of like truth is undermined, and that the only truth that you can get is out of the figurehead.
Yeah, they discredit the media.
Yeah, like discrediting the media, but also just like discrediting anyone who isn't directly controlled by the state. It's like referred to as like the death of truth, and that's kind of what we see going on here. Like you brought up, the firing people who publish unfavorable numbers, by like just lying about something so many times, and then pointing to the fact that everyone who follows you believes a certain thing because you lied to them about it. There's going to need to be like a really, really big blow up moment in order for people to actually come back to what founded America. I just don't know what that kind of big blow up moment was. I was kind of hoping that it would be something like, an attempted insurrection, but it doesn't seem like that was it.
Well, no, that didn't matter. I've had people tell me when I've talked about the cops being beaten down by flagpoles and bear sprayed, and we watched it, man. We watched it on TV live, and then we saw the reels going on for weeks later, and we have people telling us that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like, that's what I don't get here. I had two people commenting when it says I made a thing on the DC thing, that if DC was such a big problem, what happened when the insurrectionists were beating down the police and everything? And I had people actually tell me that Joe Biden should have gone ahead and done something because he was the president at that time.
Dude, someone just came up here like 30 minutes ago and said that they heard that. Where the fuck? I don't know where these
these people have said it. They've actually done videos. You can probably research it on TikTok. And then somebody had to tell that lady that January the 6th happened and January the 20th is when Biden was sworn in. So technically on January the 6th, Donald Trump was the president.
Yeah, January 6th is the certification of the election. Why would someone else be the president if the election hadn't even been certified yet?
And they keep blaming Nancy Pelosi. Donald Trump is the one that runs DC.
Okay, I'm sorry, Buck. You got flagged, so I got to drop you down. I don't know why. I don't know why,
it's been a while.
It just happens. I love you, buddy.
Okay, sorry. I thought I was just spewing the truth.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I agree. TikTok is way overly strict, but I gotta be safe, buddy.
Okay, no problem. Listen, I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna let you. I know you want to deal with opposition and that. Maybe don't lose much brain cells, my friend.
I'll try.